What's up, guys? This is Ken Kaplan from the New England Motorcycle Museum, and this is the legendary Kawasaki GPZ550. Essentially, when the Kawasaki engineers built this bike, it was basically a shrunk-down Z1R in every way, shape, and form. The engine configuration is a 4-cylinder inline 4, and this bike dominated the 550cc class on the racetracks in 81 and 82. If you were in the winner's circle, you were on a GPZ550 right out of the box. Stock, this bike would pull just over a 12-second quarter mile, almost as fast as a Z1R. And ask yourself, how can a bike half the size of a 1000, this is a 553, well, the power to weight ratio, it's a much lighter bike. It's a little bit over 400 pounds, and it has the engine was a modified KZ550 with bigger camshafts and other performance modifications at the factory that made it a lot faster. Bike would do over 120 miles an hour, 6-speed transmission, unitrack rear suspension, mag wheels, gorgeous red paint job, and of course that Z1R signature front fairing. Now on the GPZ, came with sport bars, a flat seat, and passenger pegs. So if you wanted to take your babe to the beach, you could do it in style. Just a beautiful machine. Most of these were ridden and raced hard by younger guys and got destroyed. This one was preserved in the Robert Fuller collection. We just bought an MV Augusta and a couple other bikes from Robert. What was he? Well, we got an MV Augusta and a Bultaco TSS replica and a few other world-class bikes from him. Robert's getting up there in years and wanted to lighten his load a little bit and sell part of his collection, so he hooked us up, and we bought these bikes in. Robert had and the previous owner had done quite a bit of work to it. It's been repainted. It's got a new set of graphics on it, and it came to us with this paint job and the tires on it. The rear tire has got 95% of the tread left. It's got maybe a few hundred miles on it, and the front tire's got at least 80% of the tread left on it. What we did to the bike when we got it in, Mr. Fuller hadn't ridden it much, so we took the fuel out of the tank and completely flushed and cleaned the gas tank out. We put about 20 hours of work into the bike. I have a 20-hour work order. I have a $2,000 work order on the bike. The tank was taken off the motorcycle and then bicarbonate sodium blasted and cleaned, which is a standard servicing you want to do on a 30-year-old bike. The fuel petcock, the original one, was completely dismantled and rebuilt using OEM components. It's got new fuel lines on it, and we cleaned the pilot circuit on the carburetor. The jets were clogged, so our technician cleaned the pilot circuit on the carburetors. The air filter was inspected and cleaned. The spark plugs were removed. The compression test was done. The compression is perfect on the motor, right across the board. 4 brand new spark plugs were installed. A new set of Kawasaki reproduction style mirrors, a new set of grips, and a new set of bar ends were installed. So, we also put a brand new chain on it. So it's got a brand new rear chain. Then we went through the brake system on the bike. The entire brake system was rebuilt front to back. The brakes work awesome. They are triple disc brakes, and the bike works phenomenal. So the chains, tires, brakes, everything's good on it. It's got a new battery in it, and the original seat's in good condition. It's got a couple little rips and nicks and beauty marks on the seat, but it's an original, almost 40-year-old vinyl seat. It's pretty remarkable that it's still intact. So just a really cool piece, very rare. Again, king of the 550s, came from the factory with the leading axle, front forks, triple disc brakes, mag rims, unitrack suspension. And this thing hauls the mail. It's very fast, well over 120 miles an hour. And this dominated racetracks from Laconia, New Hampshire to Daytona, Florida. This was the bike to be on, and it's highly coveted for vintage racing. To this day, this would be the bike you'd want to be in. Or if you want to just buy a classic to ride the streets that looks badass. And let's face it, the Z1Rs are becoming somewhat unobtainium. It's so cold out. My face is frozen here. It's like, what was it, like 18 degrees this morning? It's like 38.
I'm not sure, but I don't want to stand out here any longer. So
we're freezing. So I'm going to take a little spin on it and bring it back in. Junior, is there anything you'd like to add about the bike?
Let me grab the mic and add a few things. We can ship the bike anywhere in the States inexpensively. So message us your zip code for a quote. We can also offer financing. So call the shop line and ask to speak with Cody for more information.
The right signal works beautifully. The left signal works beautifully. The horn works good. The high beam works good. All the electric functions on the bike work perfectly. High beam, low beam, and the brake lights. So typical Japanese style, everything's a 10 electrically, and mechanically it runs great. Definitely a fun bike, light and fast. If you've been lusting after one of these and never could afford one when you were a kid, buy this one now because they're becoming really rare. And it's fast and fun and smooth and trouble-free. Typical Japanese quality. Kawasaki had been making these bikes in the KZ550 format for quite a few years, and then they built this high-performance GPZ550 to dominate the racetracks in the streets of America, and that it did. Pretty much vibration free. Brakes work phenomenal. Winter's almost upon us here. I'll be breaking out my snowmobile riding gear pretty soon. But it's prime riding season in Florida, in the southern states, when sometimes it's too hot to ride in the summertime. She purrs like a kitten. No valve noise, no crank noise, clutch, everything works great on it, as you'd expect. Purrs like a kitten. If you have any questions about the bike, give us a call, 860-454-7024. Ship it anywhere in the country for you, no problem. We have a great contract rates with 1-800-HAUL Bikes. And of course, if you want to store it here at the museum or leave it on display in the museum, we'd be honored to keep it. It's up to you. Give us a call either way, 860-454-7024.